So why do a sketch? Well, for a start, this is your equipment. A flat smooth surface, something to draw on, something to draw with, something to correct, and something to ink out the outlines to make it easy to see. And you go from something like this, which doesn't really show you that much, to something like this, if you put a bit of time and effort into learning how to do a perspective. Having said that, there's not a lot of time and effort into it. I'll give an example of how, say, an orthographic drawing works versus a perspective. Now, an orthographic drawing has basically a two-dimensional representation on the flat paper of each different view of an object. So let's say I start drawing one view of an object. I'll do it very simply. Very simple object. And let's call that the front view. Now I'll draw the top view. I'm deliberately choosing a very simple example because if it's simple and you're confused by it, obviously anything more complicated is more likely to confuse, the layperson or someone that's trying to express something too quickly and can't get the point across. And there's the second view. I'll call that the top view. This is only a hypothetical block, so it's not that important. Now I'll draw the side view. Now, in many drawing conventions, you'd grab the object and turn it. So I'm using this rubber as a bad example. Let's say it's the front view. You turn it that way to produce the side view. And the opposing view would be turned that way. So this detail here, which I happen to have in my head, I'll draw as a hidden detail line. Now, the hidden detail line simply means there's a line that's not actually on the visible face. It is hidden on the other side of the object. As you can see, that looks fairly confusing. If I do a perspective, which is a two-dimensional drawing done on a flat surface, but showing three dimensions from at least one side of the object. Now I'll rough out, this object's roughly a cube, so I'm going to rough out the cube. Very simply, this is really an isometric drawing. An isometric has all lines parallel that are on the same plane. Okay, it's fundamentally a block, or a cubic shape. Here's that top view, and here's the front view, and they're joined with that hidden detail line. So very clearly and very quickly, you can express to a third person, just a second person for that matter, in a very relaxed format. They can feel and almost taste the object you're trying to express without much effort. Very relaxed, very calm. Whereas the orthographic, which shows an elevation, which is the front elevation, the side elevation, and the top view. So an elevation, well, there's something to explain too. Elevation has a component where it's going up. So this is looking at our perspective drawing here. There's the dimension going up, there's the dimension going up, but looking from above, there is no elevation. So we'd call that a plan view. So from above is called a plan, or it's a top view. A front and a side would also be called an elevation. You might call it elevation 1, elevation 2. So there you have it. Two-dimensional views or a three-dimensional view very quickly makes an object quite clear. Some examples of ones I prepared earlier. This was to explain to a customer a timber draw, and here's to give a perception of what the final draw unit might look like. I hope that's been at least a little bit interesting and entertaining for you. Thanks. Bye for now.